We are live.
Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you do not know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to the sources, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar description below. Anyway, I'm MTM, and today I'm joined by...
Xander.
And the lovely who is Alice.
And today is August 2nd. Let's start off with 338 BC, where the Macedonian army, led by Philip II, defeated combined forces of Athens and Thebes, I believe that's pronounced, in the Battle of that's a lot of vowels. Chaerona, securing Macedonian hegemony in Greece and Aegean. That's a lot of vowels too.
My Sharona. But dang. Excellent job, by the way.
Boys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job. Absolutely.
Yeah. As those who haven't gathered it, I am training my first Padawan to take over this show when I am absent. So things are progressing. This is exciting.
Yes, I'm not the kind of Padawan who goes, Master Xander, there's too many vowels. What are we going to do?
There's too many vowels. Oh my god. Oh jeez.
Oh my god, Master Padawan.
I'm just like standing there in the Jedi Temple with my lightsaber. Dear God. It's just like an ocean of just vowel alphabet people, just like
In an Aztec temple, license to kill was
oh my god.
favors only.
Let's move on up. You got two
Let's
more
move
there.
on up here. All jokes aside. 2016 BC, the Second Punic War, Battle of Cannae. The Carthaginian army led by Hannibal defeats numerically superior Roman army under command Consulus Lucius Aemilius Polemus and Gaius Terentius Varro.
Huh. Alright.
And you wanted to do, 1057. The year 1057. Friedrich von Lothringen elected as the first Belgian Pope, Stephen the Ninth. Was it Stephen the Ninth or 10th?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Okay. No, an X is 10, so I think that's the 9th.
X is 10, but IX
if you have the ones
10
after the X,
1, yeah.
I believe it goes
well,
to
yeah, but it has both of them, Alice. Like, it's the
Yeah.
9th and then the 10th in some kind of bracket, so that's confusing.
Oh.
Yeah. And you're roboting violently. Let's move on up here to 1100. We have King William the Second of England. William Rufus was killed by an arrow shot by Sir Walter Tyrrell while hunting in the New Forest. Yikes. And,
so he was arrowed?
Yeah. 1610, English explorer Henry Hudson entered the bay later named after him, Hudson Bay. So, yeah. All right. And isn't that where they set him adrift, too? Like, it doesn't tell me about his death. He's obviously dead. That's weird. Oh, yeah. It is presumed he died in 1611 after being set adrift by mutineers in Hudson Bay on his ship Discovery and never seen again. So, yeah. Some of these explorers met gruesome ends. Who was it, Vasco da Gama that got killed by Hawaiians? Or is that somebody else? Okay.
I believe so. I was a big fan of Lewis and Clark history when I was younger. A lot of fucked up shit happened on that
I bet.
trip. Yeah. Sorry for saying the F word. A couple minutes into our show and getting us demonetized, but man, dysentery, death by alcoholism, actually, a lot of terrible things.
So they basically pioneered the Oregon Trail.
The Louisiana Purchase, through
well,
Missouri.
No, I'm making the joke from the video game, the Oregon Trail. You always die of dysentery.
You have died of dysentery.
Game. Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we got here? 1695, Daniel Quare received a British patent for his portable barometer.
Barometer.
What is a barometer?
It's a thing that reads pressure in the air.
Yeah, it reads the.
You can actually make a barometer out of a. You can actually use. You can actually make your own barometer out of like an old broomstick, like like one of the little pegs from a broom, and an old Folgers coffee can with the top of a balloon, and then you just make a piece of paper with the numbers of like the pressure system, and that thing is actually a natural barometer.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know how to make a barometer. Yeah. Nice. It's pretty easy.
Well, that's some actual possible good skills to have if anything happens to society. Yeah.
I just can't remember the markers that you have to have next to it, because you have to have a piece of paper that's kind of lined up and it won't fall over with the wind. But yeah, it's a really cool, interesting thing to do to make a barometer. But you need an old tin can and I would say not the biggest, largest.
Sorry to interrupt, Alice, but let's move on up here. Mr. MTM, let's get back to you. 1718 here.
Austria joins the Triple Alliance of Britain, France, and the Dutch Republic, a triple threat, forming the Quadruple Alliance to fight against Spain.
More than a triple threat, that's 4.
Well, they were a triple threat.
Yeah.
They became a boy band. Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm just Europe, not you too.
You need a shot of Quadruple Alliance.
Oh, my goodness.
Join
the Navy.
Triple Alliance in your country.
Ooh, here we go.
1776. Good old 1776 is the formal signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence by 56 people, and this is the date most accepted by modern historians.
So why do we celebrate it on July 4th, not August 2nd? That's weird.
It's...
we declared it.
Yeah, so that I was just thinking
we declared 1776. That's true.
Yeah.
George Washington creates an honorary badge of distinction.
Hold on a second. It's gone.
Well, what year?
It's not on the main site anymore.
What happened?
It's not on the main site. What you just read.
Yeah, it was there yesterday when we wrote the script.
Yeah, so you see, this is what I keep saying. Things change. And, but what the hell? A whole article is gone, so what happened? Alice, you're roboting. Okay, well...
Of course I am.
I'm wondering, Okay, that's weird. Let's give you another one, 1790. Okay, this one still is here. Okay, that's good. I'm just sitting here, where... I remember, there's a picture of him, he was highlighted, what the hell happened? That was weird. Anyway, let's move on. You have a third one here, Mr. MTM.
Yes. The first U.S. census was conducted. The population was 3,939,214, including 600,097 and 624 slaves.
697,624 slaves.
Sorry, yeah. That's...
These things happen. Don't worry about it.
On my part.
My Padawan is cracking under the pressure.
The vowels. No, he's doing really good.
Yeah. No, he's doing really good.
He's doing good.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's move on up to 1791. Samuel Briggs and his son was granted a U.S. patent for a nail-making machine. Nice.
Damn.
In 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte declared a consul for life after winning national referendum. So declared himself consul for life. He is emperor.
Can I do the 1819?
Go for it.
In 1819, we have the first parachute jump by U.S. In the U.S. by a Frenchman, Louis Charles Guel, over Jersey City.
Dang. And see, that's kind of wild because it would not be for like another 85, 90 years before airplanes were invented. So why, why the parachute preceded the airplane by almost a whole century? That's wild. Like,
well, the reason why is probably like balloons.
Oh yeah,
you would have to use like a hot air balloon to get up there in the first
That
place.
is true. That is true.
Yeah. Well, hot air balloons have been around by then, I believe.
Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly.
The Montgomery brothers.
I hope we had someone else in there to land the balloon.
No, it just floats away and goes to freaking Morocco. I don't know, like.
Right.
like how yesterday during Talkness we spoke about a debris washed ashore.
Yeah, debris washing ashore.
It was the Indian rocket. Yeah.
In India, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Miss Alice, you got another one here in 1858 if you want. The first one. Oh, she's not there. Well, I'll take this. 1858, we have the first mailboxes installed in Boston and New York City streets. All right. Then back to you, Mr. MTM, 1858 as well.
The government of India transferred from East India Company to the British Crown.
Yeah, that's how Britain got to India. They actually had it be taken over by an actual company, like a corporation. Like the equivalent today would probably be like, Apple, Microsoft, Disney, Amazon. Like imagine those companies being formed literally to control an entire nation's resource. Like oil and gold, copper or whatever it is that you're going after. Like
I just imagine. What do you reckon we do with all these spices? Well, we certainly can't use them in our bangers and mash. That would taste terrible.
What's this flavor? Get this out of here.
Cumin. Disgusting.
But then they got sugar. They're like, maybe they're onto something.
Yeah.
Dude, cumin is actually really good for
Cumin is
cold.
actually really, really good for you. Yeah, I've been incorporating it into my diet more.
Isn't it spicy?
No, it's mild. It's actually good for Vata, Pitta, Dosha types. Because we're not supposed to have too much spice. And you can supplement cumin for the flavor. It's really good.
Well, we gotta get back on track here. We have quite a bit of history. So, what did you say, Alice?
Cumin is not a super spicy flavor. It just adds more to like poultry and fish and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we got to get back on track here. We have 15 pages, so we're probably going to have to skip a bunch.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's all right.
You got two
Where
more.
are we going
1864.
The Saratoga Racecourse, America's oldest thoroughbred racetrack, opens its inaugural meet with 4 days of racing.
Wow. So that's like 170 years old or something like that. That's a really old race course,
And you want to go down to Lewis Carroll here?
Yeah, go for it.
Lewis Carroll publishes Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in 1865.
Wow, Alice, look at that. It's about you. She's not here, of course. Oh, there she is. Oh, she was.
No, actually, my phone's having a delay when I hit the mute button.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah. The story about me. Yay!
I was a big Alice in Wonderland fan when I was a kid, but I watched the Disney version before I read the book or through the Looking Glass.
Now the book's way better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the book is way better.
There aren't many movies that are as good as the book variant. I can only think of like one off the top of my head, to be honest.
We got to move on up to 1870 here. We have Tower Subway, the world's first underground tube railway, opened in London. All right, subways. 3 years later, 1873, we have the first trial run of San Francisco's cable car, Clay Street between Kearny and Jones. And I know somebody who probably knows exactly where that would be. Then, another San Fran here, 1877. The San Francisco Public Library opened with 5,000 volumes. All right. Back to you, Mr. MTM, 1880.
Yes. British Parliament officially adopts Greenwich Mean Time, GMT.
The centralized unit of time that is used by mostly globally, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really wild when you think about, like, you know, the entire world, like, you know, like, accepting on, like, certain measurements, like, well, except for U.S. with their imperial system, but, like, as far as, like, you know, time, you know, calendars and all that stuff, and it makes sense, because it's not just like, you know, oh, yeah, we're all buddy, yada. No, it's for maritime trade and commerce and stuff, which really makes the world go round, and, like, by mandate, you know, it doesn't matter how much you hate a country, you have to work with it if you rely on any imports, exports, you know, whatever. Which, you know, why we still trade with China is beyond my understanding, but, you know, that's just me. But yeah, let's move on up to 1887 here. Huh.
Nixon's fault, though.
That's a conversation we should have off the air, to be honest. 1887. Yeah. Is that where you want to?
Yes.
Chester. Okay. Chester A. Hodge of Beloit, Wisconsin, patents spur barbed wire.
Huh. Well, look at that. It actually has literal spurs in it. Like, if you're seeing my screen.
It's probably not very much used anymore. Because like, everyone uses the new barbed wire design that has like a lightning bolt on type design on each piece of the barbed wire. If you have like that stuff is like not used much past 1930, 1940 probably.
Yeah, it says here extremely rare spur rowel barbed wire. So
right.
Yeah.
It's collector's edition now.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? 1892, George A. Wheeler was granted a U.S. patent for a prototype of the escalator.
Wow.
Hell yeah!
That's one of my favorite inventions of all time because escalators are never broken. They're always only temporarily stairs.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, well, except for when they don't work, but my mom terrified me.
Yeah, you have to take them apart or something.
Yeah.
Then it's broken.
My mom told me about a girl who got her arm crushed in an escalator, and since that day, I've had a fear of escalators.
I have known about escalators and their capabilities, but like after I saw that one Final Destination movie where it just turned into a pit of just chains and death, it was just like, oh my god, like
yeah.
that's what's under you, like under literally like a quarter inch of like aluminum. There's just nothing but just death.
Yeah, just nothing but grinding gears to like grind your shit into. Yeah. Look, meat grinder.
Yeah.
This is meat grinder. The good grinding meat.
All right.
1894, death duties was first introduced in Britain. What is that? Death duties. I'm gonna look that up here.
Death duties.
Like, these taxes are levied on the beneficiary who receives a property in the deceased's will or the estate which pays the tax before transferring the inherited property. Death taxes are also called death duties, estate taxes, or inheritance taxes. Wow. So even when you die, the government takes a slice out of you. That is rough.
Only two things are certain, death and taxes. Am I right,
we
fellas?
somehow found a way to combine the two. That is absolutely abysmal. Yikes. What else do we got here? 1894 as well, Dutch Society for Women's Suffrage got a royal charter. Good. Cool. Back to you. 1907.
The legendary pitcher Walter Johnson at 19 begins his 21-year Baseball Hall of Fame playing career with Washington. 3-2 loss versus Detroit.
Not a great way to start with a loss, but yeah, 21-year, career. That's cool.
And moving on up here to 1909, the Army Air Corps formed as Army takes first delivery from the Wright brothers.
All right, yeah. Just a couple days ago, we covered when Wilbur Wright tested the very first actual military aircraft, and
getting military clearance. That's it's pretty great. It's like you're doing something right.
Ooh.
1909, U.S. issues the first Lincoln penny.
And see, this is why Abraham Lincoln could never get arrested, because he's innocent.
Really interesting thing about the penny, they kind of used it to dog on Lincoln. You know, because he freed the slaves, and the penny is the only brown coin.
Oh.
And also Lincoln is facing the opposite way that all the other famous people on the presidents on the coins are.
Yeah, well, like I actually saw a meme about that. It's just like, well, you know, after what he experienced at Ford's Theater, I don't blame him for checking behind himself. Like, but what's cool about the penny is that if you look at the Lincoln Monument on the back of it, there's a very tiny Lincoln statue in there.
Yeah. It's almost invisible.
Yeah, but we got to get back up here. 1911, Haiti's dictator Simon fled on the U.S. warship near Jamaica. Wow, what a coward. 3 years later, 1914, German press falsely reports that French have bombed Nuremberg. We have quite a bit of 1914s here, so we're going to rattle this off. This is at the very beginning of World War I. We also have 1914, German troops overthrew Luxembourg. Germany and Turkey signed a secret treaty of alliance. Great Britain mobilized. The Potsdam Conference ended, not the one that we know during World War II, but this was a previous one. Like, as I said, like, we figured out a year or so ago that there's like literally hundreds of treaties of Paris over the past 1,000 years. It's nuts. So, and then 1914 as well, Russian troops invaded Eastern Prussia. All right, which is was Germany or something, formed into Germany later on. Let's get back to MTM. You guys, 1916 here.
World War I. Austrian sabotage causes the sinking of Italian battleship Leonardo da Vinci in Taranto.
That's sad. Leonardo da Vinci got hit.
Yeah. Japan announces that it is deploying troops to Serbia in the aftermath of World War I.
Siberia,
excuse me.
Yeah, and this is actually around the time that they started their conqueror's ways. Started taking over everything around them.
Yeah.
Because if you ever saw Hacksaw Ridge, like there's a scene where the guy says like, "Oh, I just want to slap a Jap," you know? It's like, "Oh, you just want to slap a Jap? You think it's that easy? These people have been fighting since you were in diapers. They are hard. They deal with atrocities you can't even imagine on a daily basis, and they've been doing it for 20 years. You know, like respect the enemy."
Yeah, disembowelment is normal to them. Crazy.
Yeah. So.
Marcus Garvey presents his Back to Africa program in New York City.
And he was a black nationalist, so probably somebody was like, "Oh, look." I remember hearing something about this, like, you know, like there was, I think this was the guy like really trying to get everybody like quote unquote back home, as he said. Like,
yeah, he had the first MAGA movement, Make Africa Great
Oh God. Jeez. Oh, what else do we have in 1921?
That's your turn. I think that was my three, right?
Yeah. After 3 hours of deliberation, a Chicago jury acquitted 8 Chicago White Sox accused in Black Sox scandal. The next day, they are banned from organized baseball for life. Wow.
Wow.
And I would like to get into what the Black Sox... You know what? Let me just look at it real quick. What's up, Alice?
Was that baseball you said?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because like also another person who's been permanently banned from MLB unless they like released it was Pete Rose.
A lot of people have been banned from MLB, but the Black Sox scandal was a Major League Baseball game-fixing scandal in which 8 members of the Chicago White Sox were accused of throwing the 1919 World Series against the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for money from a gambling syndicate led by Arnold Rothstein. Wow. Yikes. Huh. What else do we have? Of course, for further reading on that subject matter, please refer to the underbar of the description below. The links to that will be in there after the live stream.
But I'm not going to.
What?
I
What?
can say something about that, but I'm not going to out of respect. And YouTube, you know.
Okay. 1922, China was hit by a typhoon. About 60,000 people died. Wow. And then 1928, Benito Mussolini signed a peace treaty with Abyssinia, which is today Ethiopia. Huh. And yeah, that's right. Right before the outbreak of the Second World War, Italy took over, I think it was Ethiopia, by force.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's why, you know, we were in Europe and all that stuff. We've spoken about this, or not Europe, in Africa and all that whatnot. Like, we've spoken about this in previous shows and such. So let's just go back to our show today here, 1931. Go for it. I think it's your turn now.
Yes. Where were we? The Spanish, 1931? Or do you want to skip to 1932?
31's fine.
You had your cursor right there.
Oh.
1931, Spanish Catalonia agrees to 99+% for autonomous status.
Yeah, autonomous.
Autonomous status.
Yeah. All right, cool.
1932, Carl David Anderson discovers photographs in positron, the first known antiparticle. Actually.
Wow. I wonder how he did that. Because, like, that's, like, those are small. Like, how do you capture that with film, and especially back then?
Above my pay grade, certainly, to know. 1934, the first airplane train. Train.
Yeah, you read that right?
Plane tows 3 male gliders behind it. Wow.
Wow. Great googly moogly, the trains are in the sky.
Yeah.
It's the future! Yeah. You know, I gotta look up let's see here. Airplane train. Let's see if I can find no. It's not bringing up anything that, hold on a second, gliders.
Maybe the year 1934.
Airplane train gliders, 1934. Let's see if there's a picture of it. Photo. Oh, wow! Wow, that is cool! Whoa. That looks wild. I gotta save that. That is cool, man. I'll save that later. We gotta get back to that is awesome. That looks so weird.
It does, yeah.
Dude.
It's like when you ask AI to make you an old-timey looking photograph of airplanes.
I know, right? Wow.
Moving on up to German history in 1934, Adolf Hitler becomes Commander-in-Chief of German Armed Forces.
Yikes. Yeah, here we go.
Trouble brewing.
Yep.
1934, William Franks twirls an Indian club overhead 17,280 times in 1 hour.
You know, like, it comes to my mind, like, you know, what if it was, like, during, like, a war scenario and, like, an Indian just, like, does that? And it's like, what is he doing? It's like, don't bother sitting there. He's in the zone, you know?
Right.
He's just like...
An Indian club looks like a large, tall bowling pin, so you'd have to, like...
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's straight up a bowling pin. There's a lot of variants. I love how these are striped. It's like, bro, like, you're trying to design bowling pins? That's, yeah. What else do we got here? 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was passed in the United States, essentially rendering marijuana and all its byproducts illegal. Yep, and that's because of hemp. Yeah, we've spoken about.
Of course, those gringos spell it with an H instead of a J.
Yeah, marijuana. They spell it phonetically, like how Hank Hill would say it.
Yeah.
1938, MLB conducted the first test of bright yellow baseballs during Dodgers versus Cardinals doubleheader. All right. And then 1939, a U.S. Hatch Act prohibited political activity by federal workers. That doesn't make any sense. Aren't they in politics? Like, isn't that their work? Like, or I guess they can't run for office or something while, like, being an agent or something. I don't know. Maybe. Let me look up the actual Hatch Act and find the wiki for the underbar. But while I'm doing that, why don't you take over and tell us about 1940?
1940, Claremont Ferdinand sentenced Charles de Gaulle to death. Although this was not when he died, I believe. He got away safely.
Yeah, he died later in 1970, which is 30 years later. Okay. So he did not actually get executed, but he was sentenced for whatever reason. Despite, dude, Charles de Gaulle is the GOAT. Like, if it wasn't for him, we probably like, I'm not sure like if we would have like not won World War II, but it certainly would have lasted a lot longer because he basically created the French Resistance. Which, paved the way for the invasion in Normandy to like really have a chance.
And the Nazis were just kind of running amok in France during World War II, just taking what they wanted,
Yeah.
1941, Jews are expelled from the Hungarian Ruthenia.
Yeah.
And then 1942, 250 Dutch Catholic Jews are arrested and transported to Amersfoort camp.
Yikes.
Dutch, Catholic, and Jewish, huh?
No, Catholic Jews. Like, combined.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember that specifically because a couple years ago we read this before. Catholic Jews. Hebrew Catholics, as cultural Jews, may religiously celebrate Passover, Rosh Hashanah, Shavuot, etc., and even wear traditional wear like kippot, talit, tefillin, use mezuzot, and keep many mitzvot or commandments in the Torah as a sign of their heritage, like Orthodox Jews do. So Hebrew Catholics. So somehow there's a combined religion out there of Jews and Catholics. Like that's kind of mind melting to try to put them together, like because they believe two very different things. Like, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what else do we have here? 1943, we have an armed revolt by 800 prisoners at Treblinka extermination camp. A crematorium was destroyed. 200 did escape the compound, but only half of that, 100 people, survived. Hey, at least they got out of there.
Yeah.
And while that was happening, Lieutenant John F. Kennedy, yes, the one who eventually became the president, who had a mind-blowing experience in Dallas, his PT boat 109 sank at Sullivan Islands. And there's actually like YouTube videos covering that. It's a really interesting story. He and like one other guy survived the whatever it is, they struck a mine or they got hit by a plane or something. Something happened. They had to abandon ship, and then they almost froze to death. And they found like some shack out in like the middle of nowhere when they got out of the ocean. It's a wild story. He should have died, but I'm glad he lived, only to die later, unfortunately. But yeah, and then let's see. 1 year later, 1944, Turkey broke diplomatic relationships with Nazi Germany. Good. Yeah.
1944.
Good for them.
I'm only reading 1942 right now.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up. I got it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this picture.
Do you want to take this one, Alice, since you're here?
Yeah, since I'm here, I might as well. 1945, we have, after 3.5 days suffering exhaustion, the lack of water, and shark attacks in the Philippine Sea, surviving crew of the USS Indianapolis are spotted by Wilbur Chuck Gwynn. He was a PB-1 Ventura pilot on a routine sector search, and only 316 people survived on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just so sad.
USS Indianapolis. Let's see here. So yeah, hit by 2 torpedoes and sunk. Let's see here. Hold on. That's the wiki. How many sailors died?
Well, 315 survived. I think over like 800 or something like that, maybe.
The Navy estimates about 300 sailors were trapped inside and went down with the ship. The remaining 800, so we're talking about 1,100 people in total. The remaining 800 sailors abandoned the ship, but only 316 survived. Everybody else, like, either most likely got eaten by sharks, hypothermia, drowned, died of some other reason or something, but most of them were shark food.
Like
That's horrifying.
Yeah, that takes the cake for the Titanic, I would say, in a way.
And MTM has turned now, and he gets to talk about the other Potsdam Conference.
Oh gosh.
Yes, 1945, another one of a Potsdam Conference between Stalin, Truman, Harry, and Winston Churchill, replaced by Clement Attlee after losing the 1945 general election ends.
Ah,
Damn.
okay.
Is that the infamous picture of
The big three,
Truman, Stalin, and Churchill?
Yes.
Yeah, like Truman wanted to make sure. Like I heard a fun story behind this picture that Truman wanted to be in the middle. To like I don't know, I can't remember the reasons why, but yeah.
Well, it's because, like, he wants, like, the middle is, like, the quote-unquote leadership chair.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Essentially,
It's the center focus.
He wanted to be the point of power.
Yeah. Well, he got it, and we were.
Moving on up here to 1952. 17-year-old future world champion Floyd Patterson wins the gold medal in middleweight division of the Helsinki Olympic Games with a first-round knockout of Romanian Vasily Tita.
It's like, you want to know why they call me the boxing cowboy? Wham! Like, that's why. Knockout. First round, you're done.
Yeah, it's Helsinki too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Well, supposedly it's how you pronounce it.
Ooh. Here we go. Got 2 more, MTM.
Right. 1957, Lovell telescope's first light, the first astronomical image, by the world's largest steerable telescope at Jordell Bank, England.
Ooh.
Lovell. Or
Nice.
Lovell, I should say.
Lovell. Level?
Is it Lovell or is it Lovell? Or no,
Lovell.
Lovell is that other.
It's
an
Lovell.
astronaut.
Lovell.
It was Lovell?
I believe
okay,
it's
so
Lovell.
I was right. But there's also like an astronaut named something Lovell, I think, during the Saturn or the Apollo.
Well, we have 20
mission.
minutes left, Alice, and we're still in the 50s, so we got to pump this up.
American pilots Jim Heath and Bill Burkhart take off from Dallas, Texas in the Old Scotsman. Their modified Cessna 172 in an effort to break airplane flight endurance record. They fly for slightly over 50 days, eclipsing existing record by more than 3 days.
Nice.
Damn.
And Jordan and Iraq dissolved the Arab Federation after 3 months.
That didn't last long.
Only
Wow.
3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you go into an area of highly tumultuous, differences of opinions, and draw borders that are not indicative of those people who live there, and of course conflict is going to happen. So Europe should stick their nose out of the Middle East.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1961, the Beatles' first gig as house band of Liverpool's Cavern Club. Yep.
1961.
Yeah, the very
I
first.
see 1958.
We already did that.
No, well, I'm like, you haven't scrolled.
Oh,
I'm
Okay.
watching your screen.
thank you.
Yeah.
1964, the Dutch government gave Indonesia export guarantees. All right. And here we go. 1964. I don't know why this is not highlighted. The North Vietnam fired at U.S. Navy destroyer USS Maddox in what became known as the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which would eventually escalate U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. And that has since been proven. There are documents that are accessible. It was declassified some point in the 90s that the Gulf of Tonkin incident was a complete and total lie. A lie. There was no evidence of North Vietnamese army being anywhere in that area. It was a complete and total lie. They sunk their own ship in order to get U.S. citizens to support going to war with another nation just because they're communists. Like
Pirateers.
Yeah, the Gulf of Tonkin. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it is totally a false flag incident that happened that put us into a too.
Yep.
Did you happen to skip over Willie McCovey's history there?
Yeah.
Where? I did.
It wasn't. I didn't see it on the script there.
Yeah. Well, it's your turn, so go for it.
1959 future Hall of Fame first baseman Willie McCovey hits first of the 520 MLB home runs in SF Giants' 5-3 win versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the cove by the outfield is, or by the field is named after McCovey Cove.
Ooh, that's cool.
And the real cheap seats are out there. People will bring their kayaks out there and paddle into the water and watch the game from the jumbotron. And when there's a home run, they'll try to catch the ball.
Dude, that's awesome. All the way out there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Got some more Vietnam in '65. This is your third one, I believe, right?
Right.
Yeah.
1965, morally safer sends first Vietnam report indicating the U.S. is, in fact, losing.
Hold on a second. I have a soundboard for that. Where is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Moving on up to 1970, rubber bullets were used for the first time in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. Oh wow! So it sounds like it was invented specifically for that, because they didn't have beanbag guns. They didn't have any of like the crowd control stuff that we do today. You know, back then all they had were fire hoses and dogs, and they were usually using those on the blacks. So. Then 1972, gold hits record $70 an ounce in London, and that's weird. $70. Why not 70 pounds? Why are we using dollars in London? That's confusing. Then we also have 1980. Cuban super heavyweight Teofilo Stevenson became the first fighter to win 3 Olympic gold medals in the same division. Scores 4-1 points decision over Pyotr Zayev of Soviet Union in Moscow. Wow. Back to you, Mr. MTM. You get some more baseball.
I was hoping we wouldn't glaze over it, but I'll just quickly mention George Lucas's American Graffiti came out this day, 1973.
Yeah, go for it.
Premiered. Just really quickly, we can just say that it premiered, starring Richard Dreyfuss and Ron Howard at the Locarno International Film Festival in Switzerland. It premiered.
All right. Yeah, no, I can't get everything when I read this, right? So,
but and that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Movie. I still gotta see that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I've heard about American Graffiti and it being like how, George Lucas's first real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was working for THX.
Yeah. But rest assured, I did put those 2 articles that I didn't have before. They are now in the script now. So when we get back to next year, they will be there. Let's see here. Where were we? Baseball history, 1982. Your turn.
Oakland outfielder Rickey Henderson steals his 100th Major League Baseball base of the season in 6-5 win versus Seattle, and the first to steal 100 twice in modern era. Wow.
Hell yeah. And I agree with his face. Like, he's just like, not bad.
Yeah.
You know? Pretty good. Good show, old chap, you know?
Jeff Platnick in 1984 becomes the first American to win a gold medal in the Greco-Roman wrestling at Los Angeles Olympics category. Blatnick was in remission for Hodgkin's disease. Wow.
Sorry about my phone ringing. Somebody was trying to call me.
Kept going despite the Hodgkin's. It's amazing.
Yeah. 2 years later, 1986, U.S. athlete Jackie Joyner-Kersee defeated her own heptathlon record her own world heptathlon record by 13 points, 7,161 in Houston. All right. And 1986 as well. Today PC was born today. What is Today
It's
PC?
a magazine, I believe, right?
Huh. All right, yeah, established in 1989 though, and this was 86. So, okay. Then 1 year later, 1987, Michael Andretti ran the fastest IndyCar race in history, 171.49 miles per hour, which I sure it has to have been broken by now, in winning the Marlboro 500 at the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. There's a Brooklyn in Michigan. Well, let's see, your fastest Indy car race in history. Because I do know that those race cars today in excess of 200 miles per hour. Okay, here we go. Eddie Cheever had the fastest single lap speed at 236.103 miles per hour in the 1996 race. And then actually, Ari Lunig holds the fastest qualifying average of 236.986 miles per hour, also set in 96. So this has since been broken. But that's pretty fast. Oh. And then speaking of fast, I'm going to take this 89. NASA confirmed Voyager 2's discovery of 3 more moons of Neptune designated temporarily, 1989 N2 and 3 and N24. Okay, so they just went from 2, 3 to 24. What happened to like the other ones in between?
Yeah.
That's weird. Moving on to 1990, Mr. MTM. We have a pretty important series of events happening now.
Iraq invades and occupies Kuwait. Emir flees to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. And U.S. President George H.W. Bush orders troops to Saudi Arabia.
Same day, yeah. So, setting up for Operation Desert Shield and then Storm, the first Iraq war. Huh.
1991, funk singer Rick James arrested on sexual torture charges. Yeah.
So this wasn't just assault, this was torture. Like, what were you doing, Rick James? Good lord. Huh.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Yeah, no, well, like, we already know it starts with a C, so...
Hedy Lamarr arrested for shoplifting in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we spoke about this yesterday, so I'm wondering, like, did she do it twice, or is it like, did they actually post it twice, or what? Because it's the same year, I think. I'm not sure. We're going to move on up to 1992. U.S. Jackie Joyner-Kersee became the first athlete to win consecutive gold medals in the grueling heptathlon with a 199-point win over Iria Belova of the Soviet Union at the Barcelona Olympics. All right. And then 1992 as well, Tom Seaver, Rolly Fingers, what a name. I wonder if he was prolific at making joints.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Rolly Fingers making joints, but joints are your fingers. It's a double entendre. My joke has layers, like an onion or a parfait. Anyway, Hal Newhouser and Bill McGowan are inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. All right. Good. My tongue wanted to have a stroke for some reason. And then 1992 as well, Vitaly Sherbu of Belarus became the first gymnast to win 6 gold medals at the Olympics in Barcelona. Also the first to win 4 gold in one day's competition, pommel vault rings and parallel bars. Dang, she kind of sounds like the Trunchbull. Back to you.
Back to 90... Where are we going here with this? 3. Shamrock Broadcasting, a Disney company, officially takes ownership of Cleveland's WMMS FM 107 and WHKAM 1420.
Dang. And yeah, right there, a Disney company. You know, like this is people don't realize how big Disney really is. Like Shamrock Broadcasting, you don't think about them being owned by Disney, but they are. They were back then. But there's a 93 that was right before that, talking about baseball. Maryland.
I missed that. Excuse me. Maryland investors, led by Baltimore attorney Peter Angelos, buy the Baltimore Orioles an auction in New York for $173 spanking million, nearly 50 spanking million more than ever paid for a baseball team.
Damn.
So yeah, big investment and a new record.
Yeah. In 1995, Saudi Arabia's King Fahad issued a decree replacing all members of the Council of Ministers who do not have blood ties to the royal family. Yikes. So just basically taking over the entire government. Terrifying. 1999, The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis, Toni Collette, and Haley Joel Osment premieres. All right.
Very popular movie, yeah.
I see dead people.
Right.
And then let's have you take this next millennium here, 2005.
2005, on to a new millennium. Messenger spacecraft performs an Earth flyby.
Huh. All right. Wonder what it's doing. Is it going between things and like
maybe going past the thermosphere maybe.
Huh.
And around to visible. I don't know. Largest trade in NBA history is completed as 5 teams combined to swap 13 players in 2005. The deal brings Antonio Walker and Jason Williams to Miami, leads to Heat's first ever championship that season.
Oh, hey, that's a good deal.
Miami
then.
Heats, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
2009, Mr. Wheaties.
Yeah.
Mr. Eat Your Wheaties.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps ends the World Swimming Championships in Rome with the 5th gold medal as part of the U.S. 4x100 medley relay team that recorded the 43rd world record of the controversial meet.
Wow. Ooh, you got some corporate espionage in 2013 happening.
Carl Icahn sues computer giant Dell in an attempt to derail a buyout bid by CEO Michael Dell.
Wow. Huh. Corporate tomfoolery. Schoolyard antics. Nothing more.
Indeed.
2017, we have the first footage of white giraffes posted by Hirola Conservation Program in northeastern Kenya. White giraffes. White...
Are they like albino, or they just don't have the... Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Well, world's only known white giraffe fitted with tracker to deter poachers. If they were albino, it would have red eyes. But there's not any... I can't, zoom in. I don't have the technology.
It's just a mutation, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. We also have 2017, the first successful gene editing in human embryos to repair disease-causing mutation reported by scientists in Nature. And that is horrifying because if they can go in there and remove something, number one, you're
something too, yeah.
Well, I was getting to that. Number one, you're changing something that's naturally formed, so there might be a reaction to that. But as you said as well, they can put something in, absolutely horrifying. What is it saying? Your people were so preoccupied whether or not they could that they didn't stop and think whether or not they should. Yeah. There's a lot of really good quotes from that movie, actually, that pertain to modern day situations. Really interesting. Anyway, 2017 as well, with Great Britain's Prince Philip, aged 96, made his final solo public appearance before retiring from public engagements. And now, wait, isn't he the king or is he still the prince? Prince Harry now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Philip... Wait, did Philip die?
I think Philip might have passed.
Oh, he did? Okay. Wow.
In 2021, yeah.
Okay. Well, dang. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wow, he died before his... Wait... Philip... Was Philip the son of The queen or the husband?
I don't know the royal family tree. I'm not sure.
It says he was a prince. Oh yeah. Well, he was the husband of Queen Elizabeth II since 1947, and has been the monarch's consort since her accession in 1952. So he never became king. That's weird. You know, you'd think that like in how, if there's a king, there will be a king, not a queen leading. But we had a queen leading. I'm gonna have to look more into that. That requires a delve. But anyway, the last actually we have quite a bit more 2017. So if it's all right, I'm gonna rattle them off here real quick.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. More than 1 billion people around the world need glasses, and 36 million are blind, according to a new study published in the Lancet. And wow, look at us. We both have glasses.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 people here wearing glasses.
Actually, Alice is gone, so it's just us two.
Okay, so yeah.
100%. 2017 as well. New cryptocurrency Bitcoin Cash was created via a hard fork of Bitcoin's blockchain technology and brand. I don't understand any of this crypto stuff. It's just wild to me how it's taking any ground. But I don't know economics, so whatever. And then last but not least, 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump signed legislation imposing sanctions on Russia, limiting his ability to ever lift them. Well, good. Like, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like Russia is now. That was 5 years before the invasion. Wow, that's wild. Back to you. You get to talk about a company I spoke about earlier.
Apple becomes the first American public listed company to reach $1 trillion in value.
Wow.
$1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
2018, the oldest library in Germany confirmed unearthed cologne dating to 2 AD and possibly held 20,000 scrolls.
Wow. Wow. Why don't you take the rest of the 2018s?
Yeah, sure. Pope Francis declares the death penalty unacceptable in all cases, reversing church teachings and adding to catechism of Roman Catholic Church. Catechism?
Catechism. Like, let me look up that word real quick. If this requires a deep dive, I'm gonna outsource that to a summary of the principles of Christian religion in the form of questions and answers used for the instructions of Christians. Okay.
Sort of like a Dharma talk for Christians. Okay.
I guess so.
2018, TikTok, the video sharing social network, becomes available worldwide after merging with Musical.ly. There's a funny joke about that where the guys from the boardroom, and he's like, "Come on, Musical.ly's going out. We merged with Musical.ly. We need a new name for the." And the guy goes, "Come on, think of a new name. TikTok. We're running out of time. We gotta think of a new name." I know.
TikTok. I mean, like, truth is stranger than fiction. Maybe that is how it happened.
Yeah, could be.
Because, like,
and then,
I do know that, like, this is a weird little thing, but, like, I do know that, like, you ever played, any Warcraft games?
No, not particularly.
Well, there's this creature called the Murloc, and it literally is just like...
Yeah, right, yeah.
And the rumor has it that they were trying to figure out what they would sound like, and there was somebody at the board, like, like, at the table, like, the meeting, and then they just, like, gargled some yogurt. Like... And that's where the sound comes from, like,
That's funny.
Yeah. But anyway, you got one more 2018 here.
Tokyo Medical University revealed to have been tampering with female entrance exams to ensure 30% accepted by Japanese newsletter Yomiuri Shimbun.
Yeah, under 30%, so that's despicable.
Oh, under 30%.
Yeah, so they're just trying to keep them down. That is uncool.
Yeah.
Speaking of countries trying to keep certain people down, 2019, Saudi Arabia announced new rules for women, new rules, for women, including allowing them to travel independently abroad without a male guardian's permission. So there is that, but they still don't have complete full rights like men do. And, like, I'm not sure if you remember this, but and I think this happened before 2019, actually. I think her name was Simon or something, but there's some AI, some robot that they gave full human rights to before they did so to women in Saudi Arabia. Like, what? Like, anyway, 2019 as well, a 7-year-old boy was operated on after 526 teeth were found inside his mouth in Chennai, India. Whoa. Like, that's
how many teeth are people supposed to have?
like 32.
32, yeah.
Yeah. 526? Like, I kind of want to, but I kind of don't want to look it up because it'll be absolutely disgusting. But yeah, like, I hope he's doing well now. 2019 as well, singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran's Divide Tour became the most attended and highest-grossing tour of all time, overtaking U2 after 193 days on the road. Wow. And why don't you wrap us up here with the last three?
2020, Islamic State stages a jailbreak at prison in the Afghan city of Jalalabad, placing bombs at its entrance, resulting in 20-hour gunfight, 29 deaths, and over 300 prisoners at large.
Wow. Wow, 20-hour gunfight? Holy crap.
2020, SpaceX Dragon capsule carrying NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken splashes down in the Gulf of Mexico, the first commercial crewed mission.
All right. Cool.
And last event here, 2020, the United Arab Emirates starts up the Arab world's first nuclear power station at Barakah plant.
Wow. Well, if anyone believes Ancient Aliens theory, then it's not the first one. But first
Anyways,
one, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Well, that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar description for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Central Time, and bad at doing math here, 3 p.m. East Coast Time,
No.
EST.
No.
Nope.
11 in the
Sorry.
morning Pacific Time, 12 Mountain, 1 Eastern, and 2 p.m. 1 Central, and 2 Eastern. I fumbled too. So
Sorry. We're both bad at math.
Yeah.
For all of you and all of us, I'm MTM.
I'm Xander.
And please make sure to look right and left at every intersection. And stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Doodles.